This is a shape tweening tutorial, sunset and lighting. Flash allows you to get a set of background color for your stage, but to give more interesting lighting effects, you can also use gradients and shape tweening and create some interesting effects. So start ActionScript 3.0, and we're going to change the frames per second to 12. And I'd like to get it to fit on my window, or fit in my window so I can see the whole thing. Let's save this as '08 tutorial. And your initials. Okay. I like to turn on the rulers under View. You go to View, Rulers, and then you can see a little bit more where you are. We want to get the rectangle tool and draw a solid color shape. Turn off the stroke, and I'm just going to leave it white because it's not going to make a difference really what color it is as long as we've drawn it. And to make sure that it fits exactly on the stage, select it by clicking on the keyframe with your selection tool. And now we're going to set a gradient, a radial gradient. You go down to the bottom of the color picker, and there's a black and white radial gradient. And then we're going to change the colors in any case. So we'll go ahead and use that one. And now we want to get the Gradient Transform tool. You can either press F, or it's underneath the Manual Transform over here. Once you've got that, we want to take that center white dot and drag it up to the upper left-hand corner. Okay? Now with the Gradient Transform tool still current, open the color panel. That's the little painter's palette icon up here. And we're going to change the gradient itself. You can see it says radial gradient, and you can see here you've got white. The left-hand box shows you the center color, which is right there. And then the right-hand box shows you the outside edge, and so it turns to black right here. That's where the gradient actually ends, and then it just continues to be black. Now we want to leave the center white, but we want to change the outer to a nice sky blue. So you find the sky blue hue, and I like to use H. Just drag up and down on the rainbow colors here and the hue until you find one that looks real nice sky blue. And you've got to select the saturation and shade or brightness. And so we want to go to the highest level of brightness and a nice middle shade. So it looks fairly like a real sky would look. Now, if you take your cursor down to below the bar, if you click just below the bar, you see there's a plus there. You're adding a stop. So, some evenly spaced stops. So you've got your right hand blue and your left hand white, and then you have two evenly placed stops in between. Now we want to drag the second one very close to the first stop, and then you want to drag, in fact very close, almost touching, and then you want to drag this one pretty close to that one, and you see what it does. It makes it look very much like a sky with a sun in it, doesn't it? So that is the first step. Now we want to have this happen over a long enough time that it feels like something's happening. It's like a speeded up sort of a time-lapse photography thing. So we're going to go out to frame 120, We're going to use F6 to duplicate that frame. And now, that's completely selected now. If we want to make this into a sunset, we're going to, once again, get the Gradient Transform tool. So I'm going to press F. And this time, I'm going to drag the center dot right here all the way down to the right-hand corner at the bottom. And now we're going to edit the gradient. The blue, which is basically your outer color on your gradient, will be changed after we've changed the others. We're going to start, the white one on the far left will stay white. The second one, you want to make a yellow color, so we're going to drag the hue down to a yellow, nice warmish yellow. And then we're going to take the saturation up, so you move to the right to make it more saturated. Okay, the third stop, click on the third stop. You can tell it's selected because there's a black triangle at the top of it. The third stop we want to be a magenta, which is that sort of deep pink right there. And you can see it gets real pink. We want to get that more of a deeper hue a little bit. Not much, just a little bit. Also much stronger saturation. A little bit more. And now the outside, we're going to make this very dark. So we're going to drag this down here, or just click down here so it's dark. And then we're going to make it more of a deep purple color. So we'll come up to here. Get a really nice dark purple color. Okay, now I'm going to Command S. And we'll go to the beginning. Now we right-click right in the center, about frame 60, and create Shape Tween. Okay, now Command Return, and you can see what happens. You get not only the moving center going from the upper left to the lower right, but you get the gradual change in color, so it looks like a sunset.